Hello everybody, Sloplarper here, and today we're going to be doing an overview of the Persona 4 Revival trailer. We finally get to see our first official look at the game, and keep in mind I am going to be doing a couple of spoilers later on, as I'm going to point out a couple things that I noticed in the trailer. If you have not played Persona 4 and you are waiting for Revival to come out for this to be your first experience, then I highly recommend you click off this video. But if you already played Persona 4 and you just want to be here for the comparisons, let's jump right ahead. I'm gonna be stopping in between things that I see that are interesting.
You ever heard of the Midnight Channel?
Domino might have been on that Midnight Channel before she died too.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Finally see some other characters that are not just Yu Narukami. Like previously we saw on the TV, it seems to be like they did keep the anime cutscenes of Saki Konishi being stuck in the TV. And now here we finally see the two boys, Dojima and Adachi. It's great to see. It's great to see them. Adachi kind of looks a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, but it's great to see. It's great to see them back, and we're gonna keep going. Oh, there he is. There he is. Those that have played the game know who he is. I wonder how this cutscene is gonna play out. I also wonder if there's gonna be new cutscenes for failures. You know how you can fail in Persona 4 if you don't rescue the person trapped inside the TV. That'll be very interesting to see. But it's great to see Adachi right here. Oh, okay. Here we go. I'm not gonna get into it in this video, but I very much do not like some of these new portraits. I think most of the girls are fine, but some of the guys that I do have a small issue, but I'm not gonna get into it in this video. And just in this scene right here, we see Yosuke, Chie, and the MC being tripping into the TV. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the portal. There's the first portal into the TV world, and here it is. I guess this is taking some aspects of Persona 3 Reload. That's replacing some anime cutscenes with the in-game with the CGI cutscene with the in-game models, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but I didn't like how in Persona 3 Reload it did replace a couple of meaningful cutscenes with the 3D models. Like for instance, the Awakening. Thankfully, Persona 4 Revival is doing an anime cutscene for it. I personally think that that's a better choice, as the Awakening for Persona 3 Reload looked really stiff and awkward. But we'll get onto that in a little bit. Now let's continue with the trailer.
Now where are we?
Whoa.
Feels like we're someplace.
Okay, now here's something very interesting. Here we see the first piece of original content for Persona 4 Revival. And for those that remember, this enemy was never in the original game. This is a bigger version of the smaller mouth shadows that appear in this section. And it seems like this is going to be the first tutorial boss of the game. And it's going to be the reason the Awakening is happening, because the anime cutscene is back.
Feels like we're someplace totally different. Watch out!
Okay, now here we go. We finally get to see the battle UI, and I am very glad that Persona 4 Revival seems to be taking a more original aspect than what the previous couple two Atlas games were. Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor. How they just copied Persona 5's how they almost copied Persona 5's battle UI. And I'm very glad Persona 4 Revival is taking I wouldn't say it's a more, because it is still copying the button layout, but I am glad it's giving it like a more like its own original look. Especially I like the little the little detail of the TV dial right here when you switch to whatever you're gonna choose.
Whatever's going on here, we're getting to the bottom of it. To wield a
Okay, and here we go. We're back in the Velvet Room, but most specifically the limo Velvet Room. You know, it's great to see it in HD, and it's great to see Margaret and Margaret back.
Direct control of one's heart. And the heart is strengthened through
Okay.
bonds.
Okay. So like I was mentioning before, I am very glad we have anime cutscenes again for the remakes because as I mentioned before, I previously was not a fan when Persona 3 Reload just replaced it with the CGI cutscene of the in-game models. I think I thought it looked very awkward, and the stiff faces of him screaming was very funny. But I am glad that it seems that Atlas did listen to criticism and are putting more of a budget in this remake than they did with Persona 3 Reload. Okay, now here we go. There we see the party members. If we go back a little bit, hold on.
And the heart is strengthened through bonds.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, we see the stats menu of your party members. Here we see Yunarokami, or your named MC, Yosuke, Chie, and Yukiko. And in this one, it does zoom into Yukiko. I do like that it transitions from the 3D from the 3D model to the 2D illustration. I think that's a very nice like little detail.
Doesn't it sound cool?
Okay, here we go. We finally see more characters, and we finally get to see what Yukiko looks like. And I think and like I said before, regarding the illustrations, I think the girls look the best out of the guys. But and in this one, I think Yukiko does look very nice. She looks almost 1-to-1 with her original illustration. And here we see in the social link event. I'm guessing I'm trying to remember if this was like the very beginning of it when you're shopping around for cookbooks. But let's continue on.
Someone had to see that.
And here we go. Here's something that I'm wondering is, these camera angles do look a little weird. And I'm not sure if it's just me, but I don't know. I don't like how it's like more zoomed in. I guess I would like more characters in the background so it doesn't feel as empty. But we'll see later on. Hopefully the finished product does give a little bit more detail. And here's a better version of that Yosuke illustration.
I'm glad it was you.
Oh, there she is. Oh, there she is. There's my boo. There's my boo Chie. No, but in all seriousness, we see more. We see more of the characters in just the social link aspect. And here we previously saw Yukiko and Yosuke. Now here's with Chie. We're gonna see more of them later on. Let's continue.
Supposed to be him?
Yeah. Okay. Now here's something I forgot to bring up previously. Yeah, as you could notice that these guys are not the original voice actors. And again, previously last year, Yuri Lowenthal, the previous voice actor for Yosuke, has confirmed that he is not returning back as Yosuke, and unfortunately, Aaron, who also voiced Chie, is also not coming back. Which is a shame because these guys have been the voices of Persona 4 for over the past 20 years. I mean, Chie was new for Golden back in 2012 or 2013. But she has been voicing Chie for the spin-offs ever since. Like in Ultimax, like in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Persona 4 Dancing, and Persona Q. And not Persona Q2 because that didn't have an English dub for some reason. But anyway, let's continue on. And we see...
Good turn, that. I'm glad it was you.
I'll give him a second.
That's supposed to be him?
Okay, now here's something that I want to mention that I really do love. If I ever made a top 5 things I want in a new Persona game, what I want is a more seamless open area. Like previously in Persona 4 and Persona 4 Gold, the central shopping district was split up into 2 sections. Around right here where my mouse is. This is where it cuts off, and you enter in the next section with the beef bowl place, and the kebabs, and the shrine. but I'm glad that Atlas now are making it one are trying to make it one entirely almost seamless open world. Now, obviously, it's not going to be entirely open. Obviously, it's not going to be entirely seamless because there is an arrow that is going to take you to the next area. But I am glad these little steps really do go a long way to try and making the world seem a little bit more like more open and rather than closed off.
Good times never seem to last long, do they?
Oh, and for those of you with a keen eye, I'm about to point out a giant.
That's supposed to be him?
Now this guy, for those that play Persona 4, you remember who this guy is, right? This almost looks like Namatame. Again, I'm not confirming it, but again, he does resemble his original, his original Persona 4 Golden model, where he just had a white shirt, he had like a white long sleeve shirt and black pants, and he does usually hang around the shopping district in some days, but you have to like catch him in only specific days.
Good time.
Okay, and here we go. The Sawagama River. Again, I'm just in awe that they're making these open world maps like more explorable, making them larger and more connectable. And there's Namatame again being being depressed.
Times never seem to last long.
Okay, here's the fishing mini game. The fishing mini game, which personally I never did like in the original. I thought it was kind of annoying, but I'm glad it is back. Hopefully, it is like a little bit more easier, because I always did find it annoying.
Oh, do they?
I hate you!
Okay, now here's something that I am very happy about. That I actually got up from my chair and started screaming her name. Okay, again, for those that don't know, this is Marie. Marie is an original character introduced for Persona 4 Golden, meaning she was never in the original Persona 4. She's the iconic new Atlas girl. And one thing, and the reason why I was very happy was because not because I'm a huge fan of Marie, I actually like don't like her, is because I'm happy that Atlas are not gonna remove her from the game and turn her as DLC. Now I know a lot of people are like, well, of course they're not gonna make her DLC. She's integral to Persona 4 Golden. And here's the thing with Atlas, they've always kind of like been this way ever since 2000, ever since the like the mid like the 2010s were like the highest of their like new re-releases of adding extra content. Now I was very afraid that they were gonna remove Marie and package her on it later as DLC, and I knew it's very 50-50 that Atlas were gonna remove her, but I'm very glad they didn't, and I'm very glad that this is gonna be a complete package of a remake of Persona 4 Golden.
Sneaky, stupid, bully jerk! I can't wait!
Oh, there she is. There's a little sister, and here's a segment that happens later on in the game. Yes, you do get a small garden, and you do grow some vegetables, which with Nanako. And it's a very fun like little side activity that happens on. I really hope Great Vegetables is still in the game.
So, shall we?
Okay, now here she is, Naoto. I really am probably gonna say a hot take, but I really hope they don't ever change her original aspect or her original story. One thing I am very afraid is them making changes to the script, which again is never really like a good thing. Like Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Royal did change some things to remove some offensive topics. Like there's no way of getting around like Naoto and Kanji's storyline. They have to be authentic. They have to be authentic with the original. It has to be in line with the original, I meant. But yeah, here's a small little here's a small little snippet of you guys just hanging out.
Really? So neat!
And again, here's Rise, probably like my third favorite girl, second to Naoto. Like first is Chie, then Naoto, then Rise. Really not a Yukiko fan. I know she's a fan favorite, but I personally was never that much of a fan of her. But You know, it's great. It's great to see like the whole gang, and I'm pretty sure Kanji's up next.
Come on, don't.
Yep. Okay. And again, again. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up in another video of I'm gonna do sprite comparisons, but again, this really does look awkward. I don't know if the way is angled or his neck is more pronounced, but it does look a little bit weird. But anyway, here's Kanji. Again, just like Naruto, I really hope they keep us original story intact. And I know they keep his original dungeon intact. You know, his like hot springs, or I forget what it's called. But I'm glad they're keeping the dungeons intact and not changing them up to something else.
Call me that.
All shadows were original.
Yeah, okay, like I said previously, here the smaller versions of that giant bigger mouth white of the bigger white mouth shadow. And I'm guessing these guys are gonna come afterwards, after the giant boss. Or maybe the giant boss comes after these two. But we'll see later on.
Originally born from humans.
Okay, now here he is. Here's Teddy. Now, and one thing in this trailer, we never see what Teddy looks like. We never see the human Teddy. You know, for like those that remember, Teddy's just like just a regular guy with blonde hair, blue eyes, and we never really see his human model. I'm guessing they're saving that for again, like the new audience. Be like, what the remember, like, what the fuck? There's a guy under this bear suit. But and here's another thing. Again, we do hear a little bit of new Teddy. I'm personally not much of a fan of his newer voice. I really do like his old voice, but you know, hopefully it'll grow on me later on during the game. All right, let's continue.
Well, then that means Senpai got killed by...
Oh yeah, here you go. The beginning, the first shadow boss you're gonna fight, and of Saki's dungeon. And here we see that crumpled up picture that they took during the beginning of their, I think it was like a week after they started working together. And again, for those that know, this was taken like before Persona 4 actually starts. There's like a whole manga of Yosuke. It's called Persona 4 the Magician. It shows Yosuke's life out here before the events of Persona 4 started. And I think it is interesting. It is a very short manga. If you manage to find it, I do recommend giving it a good read, because it is a nice short little manga that predates Persona 4, the starting events of Persona 4.
her other self.
No! Get out of here! Don't look at me! That...
Okay, now here we go. The thing I do love, again, I am loving these. They're adding more cutscenes in, rather than just like the still models and text. Here we go. We see Chie resenting her shadow self. And remember, I am a shadow, the true self. You have to either accept yourself, or your shadow turns into a giant monster.
You mean you're just gonna stuff me back in your head and pretend I'm not Ria? I can't.
Damn, she looking hella seductive with that. Okay, now here we see the first shadow boss transformation, and this is Chie's shadow turned monster, and again there's a lot of like symbolism, but I'm not gonna get into that. But you know, it's great to see that there's not many changes to the shadow design. I'm glad they're still keeping that weird dominatrix look of the original.
Persona!
Yeah, here we go. Okay, now here's a segment. We're gonna see like a couple of full-on battles. We see you Narukami using Zio on the security shadow. You know, that hitting his weakness and then doing a baton pass to Yosuke.
Alright! Which means that we also gotta catch whoever's tossing people in.
Okay, now here's another thing to Persona 4 Golden. What just happened just now is he parried. Okay, so the shadow was gonna attack you, but you parried just in time to stun the shadow and gain the advantage. Now that is something I am a little mixed on, because it does seem like hopefully it's not as easy to parry the shadows, because that sort of makes like the shadow encounter like a little like way too easier. Like Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 did not have the same thing. But I really hope that this is not like something that can be done easily at the very least. Because this is gonna like make combat easier if you can just easily stun the shadow when it just approaches you.
I think I'd like to help too. I'm not running away from this.
Okay, now here we see something. Now here we see something new to Persona 4 Revival. What's happening now is something called Prime Time, and Prime Time is something I am also very mixed on. So from what I read, Prime Time essentially makes it so everything. It makes it so everything in the game is Prime Time essentially makes almost everything easier. You know, like it raises your attack. It makes skills not cost any SP. It also like makes it so you can also do a final. I'm really kind of mixed on it. I hope it's not easy to access. You know, I think Persona 3 Reload has a better system like this, like, you know, with the theurgy. You know, just keep building up till you get the special move, rather than just like a bullshit 4 turns of you can't hurt me and I can do things risk free. I'm personally not a fan of that, and I hope this does get fleshed out later on. Like hopefully it's not easy to access Prime Time as it is to like get a theurgy or the Showtime skills in Persona 5.
I think I'd like to help too. I'm not running away from this. Well, but I have no problem taking down shadows. It's over!
So yeah, I'll be counting on you, partner. And let's...
Okay, now here we see it's a thing that's apparently only possible to do with Prime Time. What we saw was them basically doing like their special moves. You know, I'm guessing that's gonna replace the Galactic Punt, the other, and a couple of other things that happen in Persona 4 Golden. And here we see the first instance of an all-out attack, and it's just like Persona 3 Reload. You're just gonna come up to the shadow and just gonna be like giant white clouds everywhere. But it is very fun to see.
Team up and catch this jerk.
Let's end it! Here! Go! Persona!
Yep, Persona 4 Revival coming out February 18th. You know, I'm very glad it is coming out very soon. You know, there have been rumors that it could have been like mid-spring or like early summer, but I am glad it is coming out in February. You know, just like Persona 3 Reload, it did come out in February. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole trailer. One more thing. I'm very glad there's gonna be like a lot more animation towards everything, or like towards these attacks. You know, it does breathe into it a little bit more life. But yeah, that's my whole thoughts on the trailer. I'm gonna do a small overview on Persona 6 trailer, because there's not really much to discuss. It's gonna be more of a theory video, because there is a lot of things in the short span that do tell what Persona 6 could be. But anyway, that's all for this video. Slop Larper out.